quick and easy pillow covers, really easy to make. You could do some seasonal ones, and the recipient could take the covers off, different inserts, and change them for different holidays or seasons throughout the year. So I'm going to do one for a 12-inch pillow form. We carry soft touch pillow forms from Fairfield Processing. They come in a 12-inch, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, or 24-inch square forms. And they also come in a 12-inch by 16-inch, a nice kind of travel size pillow form. I am going to do a fold over back, so it's going to be one strip of fabric, and it's going to be sewn and then overlap the side sewn and ready to slip the pillow form inside. So the way I figure on the math, if I was making a finished pillow case for a 12-inch pillow, I actually am going to cut the fabric to be 12 inches, do a 1/2 inch seam allowance so that the finished case is 11 inches, and that way when I put the form in, it kind of fluffs it up nicely. Otherwise it's a little bit flat looking. So I've cut my strip 12 inches wide. I'm going to be sewing the 1/2 inch seam allowances eventually, so it'll end up being 11 inches wide, which is what I want. For the length, I'm going to want it to be 11 inches plus 11 inches for the front and back, so that's 22, and then 5 inches for the overlap, so it's a total of 27 inches. So 12 by 27 is the measurements that I cut for this 12-inch pillow form. If I go up to a 14-inch, I'm going to have a 14-inch wide strip, and then this going this way, I'm going to have 13 plus 13, which is 26, plus 5 is 31. So 14-inch would be 14 inches wide by 31 long, and you could do the math on the other sizes from there. With the really big pillows, the 20 and 22, 24, you might make that overlap 6 inches instead of 5. So first step is going to be you're going to narrow hem both of the short ends. So one way of doing it would be simply to turn over a 1/4 inch and then a second 1/4 inch and top stitch it down. What I did is I serged it on the single layer, flipped it over, and sewed a 1/4 inch from the edge, and I did that on both sides. Now what I'm going to do is fold it over and prepare it for sewing the side seam. So I know I want this finished at 11 inches. So I'm basically using the lines on the mat and lined up here this fold at 10 inches. So I want the other fold to happen at 21. So I folded it over. I will put a few pins in just so I can get over to the sewing machine. And then I will sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this side and a 1/2 inch seam allowance on that side. And so you have your quick and easy pillow. It slips in and out through the overlapped backing, and you could do this in any size. So some other pillow ideas, if you wanted something a little bit more involved and detailed, we have these great patterns from Jaybird Quilts. We're working towards the Nebula Quilt of the Block of the Month program in January, and we've been working through the fall, learning a lot of techniques. And she has some great pillow patterns that introduce you to her ruler, which is a Hexamore ruler. And she has videos, which I'll have the links in the email, to watch how she cuts and how she sews for each of these. So Candy Dish is a cute one with hexagons, and we also have Lucky Charm. There's 2 variations. I did one, Deb did one of the other ones. And this one is Jawbreaker. And what I liked about this one, if any of you have tried to do piping on a pillow, piping is a nice addition. It gives an edge, a little contrast color, and it also can be tricky. Turning corners is a little tricky. And a lot of us are quilters, so we do binding all the time. So what she did, which I thought was a really neat technique, is when she put the pillow together, she layered the pillow front and the pillow back right sides out like you would for a quilt, basted the edges, and then she applied binding, which gives it that nice little splash of color on the outside. And for us that quilt a lot, it's in our tool set. We know how to do binding real easily, so that's a neat, clever way to handle that. And then another idea for pillows, a lot of us have either embroidery samples, you know, you're trying to learn how to use your embroidery machine, and you might embroider some blocks, and what do you do with them? Or you might have some offering quilt blocks, and they can form the center of a pillow. This is one Ronnie did for us, a design from the embroidery machine, and she bordered it with some patchwork and did an overlapped back on one of the 12 by 16 inch pillow forms. So another way to use up some of the things that you might be doing for practice and make a quick and easy gift.